All media featured in this video is here under the fair use copyright law for commentary purposes. Everyone will be credited. There will also be flashing throughout. Thank you for watching and enjoy.
If you spend a lot of time online, there's a chance you've heard of the Gacha franchise. If you haven't, it's a series of dress-up games featuring a chibi art style and a large catalog of items and colors for you to use to customize your character with. The app is pretty much that, but that's not the main reason why it's so popular. To be completely honest, Gacha makes me feel old. I used to watch Gacha videos since the Gacha Life and GdeAvstralia days, originally introduced to Gacha via Gacha Studio videos, you know, the Lost Princess video and boy vs girl singing battle video days. Obviously, a lot has changed since then. And I'll be yapping about it in this lame excuse of an essay. Anyways, hi. I'm Scoomy, thanks for watching. Just wanna give you a heads up before watching. This video will mention sensitive topics, such as abuse and erotic content, but I won't go into detail about these because I wanna stay on topic. If you are uncomfortable with that, then I would watch something else. This is also just my opinion and observations. What I say here may not be true to what actually happens or has happened in the Gacha community. With that out of the way, let's continue. So, the main reason why Gacha is popular is because of all the stories made with the studio mode in the app. When I was much younger, I watched the same Lost Princess stories everyone else did. Back then, the Gacha apps were primitive compared to the most recent app, Gacha Life 2. The stories all followed the same plot. Two girls are born, the mother favors one and abuses the other. Father disappears, the girls transform at school, and it turns out the abused girl was the lost princess. I practically binged these on my grandma's TV. And the singing battles also followed the same format. Basically, 4 girls and 4 boys who may or may not look similar take turns singing songs. Of course, there was the occasional love story with some unique storytelling. The concepts I described are, of course, dry. But that's not the point. The point is that's what many people grew up with. But that was a long time ago. In fact, it's been around 5 years or so, if we assume that these videos were made around the time Gacha videos like these were trending. Of course, things really changed as the community grew. We got more unique stories, with better storytelling, we got animation memes, we got a new app, even. The app was called Gacha Life. First of all, I think one of the most obvious changes in the community was the change to Gacha Life. Before then, we had Gacha Studio, which had a very different art style and a small range of items. You only had like 10 colors for hair and eyes and 4 schemes for clothes, and even then, there wasn't a lot to pick from. GdeAvstralia, although also limited, had way more customization, such as the ability to change the bangs on a hairstyle or use a ton of different color schemes on your outfits. Both of the apps would also feature a game mode where you would send your characters to fight off characters in the game, using an element system. GdeAvstralia would be the basic blueprint for the more modern games, like Gacha Life. Gacha Life would introduce more items and more colors, as well as a new GUI. This allowed people to make more unique characters. But the app wasn't the only big change within the community. People began to make more complicated stories. The majority were still romance, but still. Something I noticed is that when people started to use Gacha Life, there was an uptick in Gacha Heat. Gacha Heat is the general term used to refer to erotic content made with an app from the Gacha series. Of course, Gacha Heat was still most likely around the older days. I only noticed it then. I'm not really sure what exactly caused this sudden attention, but if you ask me, I think kids got influenced by romance stories that didn't feature erotic content, and saw the clothing available and kinda took it too far. I don't know for certain, but this will definitely be a topic I cover in the future because there's so much to say about those videos. Anyway, looking past the Gacha Heat thing, I think that was a very influential moment of the Gacha fandom. I specifically remember watching Gacha Life the most. Some of the stories people were making were pretty good, I won't lie. Gacha Life was also a popular medium for animation memes. There are plenty of really good examples I can think of, and they are kinda part of the reason why I'm into animation now. A while later, a new app comes out, Gacha Club. Gacha Club would feature a new animated GUI, more colors and items, and even a system to adjust accessories, hair, and facial features to allow you to really make your characters unique. I still remember how people reacted when Android users got access to the app first, while iOS users had to wait a couple of months. And with that, better content came out, and it was insanely popular in the community. Something I couldn't help but notice was that during this time, stories just appeared less. Of course, they were still being made, but they weren't popular. I also noticed that the majority of these stories are romance stories. And for some reason, they all involved wolves, but that's been a huge part of the community anyway, so let's just look past that. But there was still new content. I believe there is a whole indie series animated with Gacha. I think it's a musical. I haven't seen it besides the first few episodes when it first came out, so I don't know much of it, but it seems really good. I remember that it's even voice acted, so there isn't a speech bubble on the screen. Animation memes weren't as popular either, besides memes that look absolutely nothing like Gacha. Skits were becoming popular too, and Gacha Heat kinda became a more separated part of the community, since it's rarely mentioned. I also noticed that the community had reached a point in time where some YouTubers were remaking Gacha trends that were popular in 2018 or so, like Gacha Life music videos and the Lost Princess Story Troop videos. The animation memes, parodies, and even the apps, observing them and how they change as the community evolves, is what makes me feel so old now. This is not a bad thing, of course. It's like seeing the reboot of a show you watched for years. Not a bad reboot, like one that actually honors the show but is still so much newer. I want to say that it was so cool to see a community change over the years like that. It was fun to watch everyone become so talented over time. Even though I don't actively participate in the community right now, I suppose I still am fond of it. The only thing that made me really realize how much the community has changed is those parodies made to poke fun at videos that are really old now. It's pretty easy not to think about these changes, though. I also want to talk about the animation memes. When I first started watching them, they consisted of a character in Gacha and tweening with a little stylization. But as time went on, eventually we lost the simple Gacha character, and people began drawing out their characters instead. I think it's really cool, and those memes are always high effort and are nice. However, the former method hasn't died yet, it's still very popular and used. Even the changes in the apps have greatly evolved. There are so many design choices and options now. The most recent app, Gacha Life 2, allows you to pick your own custom colors, move almost anything you want practically anywhere, and can be used in both portrait and landscape. I haven't seen many games of this genre with that kind of functionality. Something I totally forgot to mention in detail was GLMVs, or Gacha Life music videos. These were popular as well, with a few songs being very popular to use in videos like so. Because of these videos, people in the community, or at least participated in it for some time, may associate these with Gacha videos. At least I certainly do. If anything, these GLMVs were a defining moment in my music discovery. People had good taste then. What can I say? People have moved on to different music now, common in edits you may see in your For You page on TikTok or wherever you find them. This music usually is either what genre auditory is or funk, specifically, much newer funk, not like before, it was extremely popular for virtually anything. Something I noticed is that I don't see a lot of GLMMs anymore, or Gacha Life mini-movies. I'm sure some are still being made, but I don't see them as often. On one hand, it's sad to see that these weren't as popular, it seems. But I wouldn't consider this upsetting. We have unique stories and, dare I say, reboots of the same story to last a while. Nothing like going through a nostalgia trip. Something I have also noticed is that, unlike the other apps, where people would prefer to use the most recent app for gacha content, when Gacha Life 2 came out, I still saw a lot of content being made with now older versions. This is also quite interesting and somewhat nostalgic to see, even if it's being used ironically. It also makes sense because I have used gacha apps before, and Gacha Life 2 is easily the most complicated. It's definitely easier to use other older apps for content because of their practicality. This makes me wonder whether older apps will continue to make a comeback in the near future. Maybe we'll get older trends to come back as well. How cool would that be? Alright, here's your summary for those who want the short version and those who think I've lost the plot. During the Gacha Studio and Gachaverse days, stuff mainly consisted of the same story tropes, but things began to really branch out in Gacha Life, based on my experience, not as a gachatuber, but as a viewer. This is both a good and bad thing since more cool stories and animations, but Gacha Heat seemed to be around a lot. Then we got Gacha Club, where stories became less popular and more skits and animation memes were around. But when Gacha Life 2 was out, the older apps made a comeback with it. Anyway, this makes me wonder what's in store for the future. Will there be another even more feature-packed app? What kind of content will be popular then? Will older apps take over? I honestly have no clue how Gacha Life 2 could become any more complicated than it is, and I would love to see whether everyone moves to just that hypothetical app or whether people will continue to return to the older apps. And of course, what will the trends look like as well? I personally would love to see classic gacha animations come back. Okay. Yap session officially over. Thanks for watching. If you like stuff like this, maybe like and subscribe. It's really helpful because that tells me that people like this stuff, and I should make more. I hope you guys have a good day. Scoomy out.
Remember, remember that song? I do remember.